Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of In the Kitchen. I'm here with Taylor and myself, Aloncio. And we're going to be talking about the Spurs today. Really big stuff going on with them. The very first race for F1 just happened this weekend. It was my first race. It's my first season, thanks to Taylor. It was fun. It was really fun.
Glad you enjoyed it.
You
it's a fun sport.
You had the grill. Well, you had to improvise because what happened to your grill?
Oh man, the grill fucking. My dad's grill in the back is all busted and laid over, and so all we have is this little
the skillet,
like skillety, it's a tailgating grill, and the regulator got jacked up with it and everything, and went kaput, and so now we had to go back to the skillet and the cast iron, and we got it done.
Yep,
it was good.
You guys improvised well enough, but yeah, man, we had Vettel in first place. Team Ferrari leading. After the first race, obviously. We had San Antonio
coming in second.
Yeah, Hamilton coming in second. We had San Antonio dropping 2 in a row. Heavy stuff coming up with them. So what's up with F1, man? What was your biggest takeaways?
Well, I liked it. So let's start with the qualifier first, because qualifiers I like to think of like a mini race in themselves, because they're racing to see who starts on the starting grid for the actual race, who starts in first, second, on all the way through 20 drivers. And it's 3 rounds. They're timed. You're trying to get the best possible lap or time around the lap, and whoever gets the fastest starts in first. And I think it was pretty heated. The top 3 teams, so being Mercedes, Ferrari, and Red Bull, all very competitive, put up good numbers early on. But the surprising factor was not necessarily the big 3 in the qualifiers, but there were some other teams, specifically Haas F1, which is the American team. America. Even though they don't have any American drivers. And McLaren. Haas ended up on the starting grid in 5th and 6th. So they had the 5th and 6th fastest time around the track. And with those new Haas cars that they're in co-production with Ferrari are just beasts.
Yeah, well, Alonso
I'm excited.
had a good comeback.
And McLaren had a good shot in the qualifiers as well. You were all over Fernando Alonso, their poster child.
Hey, I mean, he was fun to watch, man. Coming from the 11th place, finishing in 5th.
But what really stuck out of all of that was Mercedes, man. Valtteri Bottas. Oh, dude, that smash, you crashing, bro, in qualifiers, that was rough to watch, man. You watch the replays on it, Google and find the highlights for Australia 2018 qualifiers, and that whole back end of that car just lets loose during that turn, and he just goes sideways right into a wall, jacks his car up.
Did not do him any harm though. He
still penalized him. It put him down on the rack. It put him out of the qualifiers. Done. So he started at 13, and then he got 15. Hold on. He got some grid spot penalties that eventually put him starting on the grid at 15. So that was rough for him.
But from 15th to get all the way to 8th to give his team 4 points.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like better than 0, exactly. And speaking with the race was great. Again, Haas. My God, what are y'all doing this year? Y'all look like machines. You did really well for that first half of that race, man. And Red Bull, they did pretty decent too. Ricardo had a pretty nice, impressive pass over.
Right at the end.
Right about in the middle. It was the Renault team. He passed Hülkenberg. Pretty beastly. And Ricardo struggled a little bit there. He fought with the Renault team a lot, mainly with Hülkenberg, but he did all right, and that pass was impressive. But the big story, Haas. Those bad pits. Man, they had an amazing race. They were holding spot 4 and 5 through most of the race, and then they both simultaneously go into the pit. They come out, and they're retired from the race for improperly attached wheels. Like, it's one nut, guys. It's only one bolt on an F1 car to attach a wheel. Like, how do you screw that up? I don't get it. Like, it seems like freaking the cursed object on F1 cars
Those
right now are
boys-
wheels.
Those boys need to get tested. Because
Seriously.
when you only got one bolt
Yeah.
per tire, ladies and gentlemen, that means one nut.
One giant bolt.
And you got this machine that does it in less than a second, and
How-
you don't
I-
do it.
And you attach
Twice.
the wheel improperly on not one but two cars. Come on,
That seemed
people.
rehearsed. That was cool. But that was embarrassing. That was embarrassing for Haas.
And yeah, that was
Very
embarrassing. You
moment.
had
It's at the start. It's at the very first race.
going so strong. I was
trying to set
rooting
the
for you.
pace.
I was like, man, these guys are going to be super competitive and instead of sticking in the pack, 7, 8, 10, those kind of spots like they were last year. They're 4th and 5th.
But I didn't enjoy the race as much as you did. I want to see my boy Bottas. I want to see
Come
him
back.
I want to see him next to his boy over here, Hamilton, because Hamilton was getting ganged up. Hamilton had first place.
He did.
He gave it.
had
Went
it.
to the pit first.
He did.
Vettel got first. Vettel took over him, and never let it go.
Never
Vettel
let it
went
go.
to the pits.
Yep.
Hamilton is coming up on him. Vettel's
They
coming
had a
out of
chance.
the pits, and Hamilton still couldn't get it done. Why? Because his partner's sitting way back in 50. Take care of your vehicle, both guys. Por favor, please take care of it.
I agree. Like, you got to take care of that freaking car.
All right,
man.
you need to get you
Y'all
guys
could have
have
had
one and
much better
two to
points.
start with.
As a team, y'all could have ended up with way better points at the end of the day. But
Not bad, though.
And
Not
that's
bad.
that's pointing out the Mercedes stuff. But overall, with F1, our ultimate guys in the top 3 were Sebastian Vettel going away with 25 points. Lewis Hamilton in second, going away with 18, and then Sebastian Vettel's partner Kimi Räikkönen in third with 15 points. So that automatically puts Ferrari in a nice solid lead against the Mercedes team, because Bottas down there in 8th only got 4 points. They barely broke 20 in their first race.
But we'll see what happens. That was the Australian
Yeah, that was the Australian Grand Prix.
And what's the next one? Is
the next one is the
Bahrain?
Bahrain.
We
I
are
can't say
pronouncing that wrong.
We are pronouncing that so
Bahrain.
wrong.
I'm sorry.
But BAHRAIN GP. And then after that one's the Chinese.
It's gonna be exciting. That's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be
So
on Sunday.
I want to see how Haas comes back, and I hope Bottas doesn't smash his car again. So
well, let's bring it back.
bring
to
it back.
The NBA.
Yeah, it's
real
NBA. Yes, sir.
Quick. Do you remember what you were doing in 1997?
I was between 5 and 6 years old, so probably watching cartoons, eating cereal most days.
I was about to turn 2. I was about to turn 2 years old when the NBA playoffs started. 1997. Titanic came out, Men in Black came out, Good Will Hunting came out, Liar Liar came out. My Best Friend's Wedding, Scream 2. It was a great lineup of movies.
Yeah.
But that was the last time as well that the Spurs didn't make the playoffs.
The
Greg
Spurs
Pop-
have made the playoffs every year since then.
Every year since then. So 98, counting 98 till now. Well,
That's impressive.
till last season for sure. They made the playoffs every year. Coach Popovich was in his second year of coaching the team, taking over as head coach. David Robinson, their all-star player, the last time Coach Popovich didn't have a true all-star on the court. They missed playoffs. They end up with a lottery pick, and they fortunate enough to get a guy named Tim Duncan. And well, you know what Tim Duncan did with them boys.
Duncan,
You know,
from what I heard, did
Duncan
great.
received the torch, and he took it to the first 3 championships, and then he passed the torch to Tony and Manu. Won a championship. At the end, you went. All 3 of them. Pop said, "You know what? Let's give it to Kawhi." Even if Kawhi had gotten hurt his rookie season, his second year, his third year when they won the finals, you can still say the Spurs were a team and they still had all-star caliber members on their teams. this year Kawhi is still their guy. We still have an All-Star. But LaMarcus Aldridge is not Tim Duncan. LaMarcus Aldridge is not Kawhi Leonard.
No.
LaMarcus Aldridge, since he's gotten to the Spurs, even when he's had an All-Star next to him in Portland, you haven't gone past the second round. Well, last year he went to the Western Conference Finals with Kawhi. But even then, you disappeared. You were struggling. You were nowhere to be found. Your first year with the Spurs, you were 40 points one game, and then what? You were gone.
Yeah.
But he has been the workhorse this year.
Yes.
Of course, you have to be. With Kawhi being out. It looked like they were going to get a third seed again, but things got tough, things got rough, and Spurs started dropping some games. But LaMarcus Aldridge is averaging 23 points a game, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists per game. And then a couple of days ago, he had a season high against his career high. Season high, obviously, against the red-hot Utah Jazz that were on a 12-game road win streak. They were at the Spurs, taking them to overtime. LaMarcus drops 45. You're great during the regular season. Just like I said last week, just like James Harden, just like Chris Paul. But there's a reason you are not the man, LaMarcus. The Spurs are, at this point, 3 games behind third place, 3 games in front of 9th place. Yeah, so their next 7 games is OKC, Houston, Clippers, Lakers, Portland Kings, Pelicans. 7 games. I can easily see 4 losses there.
Ouch.
And that's with LA. And mind you not, ladies and gentlemen, LaMarcus Aldridge got hurt and was out in the second quarter last game.
Oh yeah, and that hurt him. That hurt him bad. And I could say if Kawhi Leonard does not come back and get his bench warming butt off the bench and freaking get into the game, I understand you're concerned about your health. So, but if freaking Kawhi Leonard could get his bench warming butt off the bench and get into the game, I understand your health is a concern and everything, but you've been out for so long. You've been out for almost the whole freaking season, man. I think it's time for you to come back. And if he manages to come back, I think those 4 losses that you're seeing there might be like 2 or 3.
Yeah. Well, the only thing that's hanging on the line right now, to tell you the truth, and if it is, will the Spurs make the playoffs? That's the only thing that's the storyline for the Spurs, I feel, as a Spurs. Of course, you would hope they make playoffs with LaMarcus fully healthy. All of a sudden, Kawhi possibly comes back in the second round, something like that. But even then, I still see it far away from them winning a championship. You know I'm a big fan.
Yeah,
and I'm also real when it comes to the NBA because I know the competition that's out there, and I give credit where credit is due.
Exactly. Just like with me and
it's due with the Houston Rockets. It's due with what Golden State has been able to become.
Yeah.
It's due with LeBron, what he's been able to do from year 1 to year 15, which is now. But the Spurs will they make the postseason?
I think they'll make the postseason.
Or will they be, for the first time, be on the wrong side of history in almost 20 years?
Yeah.
In 20 years, actually.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, even if Aldridge can stay healthy and they can keep that going without Kawhi Leonard, I still think they got a shot at getting into the playoffs. But will they go very far without Kawhi Leonard? Probably not.
If they stay in the 6th seed, the Spurs, to end the season, right now, the season would end today. Right now, they'd be facing the Portland Trailblazers in the first round. The only reason I'm excited for that is because for a fact, I know LaMarcus Aldridge does not want to have the team on his back and lose the team that he left to go pursue a chip.
Yeah.
He left Portland. No, I'm sorry. He left Portland. He could have chosen to sign with them, re-sign with them, but no, he chose a 4-year contract with the Spurs, and then he had a 3-year extension this year. He's now on for the next 5 years. But yeah, you don't want that on your resume. You don't want to lose to the team you left to go pursue the chip for. Because Damian Lillard
to the team
is hot right now. Damian Lillard is hot right now. Them two could have gone places together. But LaMarcus, 6 years in one city and you still can't quite get it right and even remotely close. You know, the first time to the Western Conference Finals was with the Spurs. His second year with the Spurs. That was last year.
And I feel like in this game he held up fairly strong up until his injury. You know, he still, even after his injury,
he was still at 13-4, 13 points, 4 rebounds with only 18 minutes.
Man. He scored 13 points.
He's on a rehab.
And he was out for basically half the game, and he still scored more points than anybody else on this team.
He's a different monster right now. The only thing is he okay after this game, and will that be able to carry into the playoffs? Because if it carries into the playoffs, don't tell me right now don't tell me that Portland is gonna beat the Spurs and the Marcus Aldridge. Hey, they're good. I believe in Damian
They're a pretty
Lillard,
good team.
but I don't believe in his teammates. I believe in LaMarcus Aldridge's teammates and coach.
And in the numbers show, because the Wizards put up some impressive on this past game.
The Wizards
too.
played a fantastic game.
They had 6 players that put up 12 or more points.
Double figures.
6 players that put up almost as much as as Aldridge on the Spurs. They scored only 1 point up under, 12 or better. But 6
that's
players.
been the story of Washington. They're up, they're down, they're up, they're down.
Yeah.
And
finals and the Spurs ended up chasing basically a 10 to 12 point deficit almost the whole game.
They scored 40 in the fourth quarter. Granted, the other team probably wasn't trying as hard.
That was an impressive quarter too. I give them to that 40 points in the final quarter
to try to make a push. But at that point, it's like, my man, this is the way you should start the game.
And final score was Spurs 106 to the Wizards 116.
It was a tough loss.
And that shows kind of the whole thing that they chased that deficit starting right after Aldridge left the game.
Any final thoughts?
I thought the game was good. I liked it. It was one of my first basketball games, watching it with him and stuff. And
there was also LeBron going back to Miami.
Yeah, so the other game was the Cavs at the Miami Heat.
Oh, D-Wade has some nice blocks on LeBron.
Yeah, I watched the game. It was a nice game. I liked it because it was competitive. Even though it was very one-sided, the Cavs had a strong, start in that first quarter, man. It just looked like 2 bucks just bashing each other in the heads.
But the Heat just took over.
But the Heat, they found their spot and they dominated early and they kept it.
Quick fact: LeBron James has not won against the Heat at their home court since he's left the Heat.
Wow.
In the 4 games he's played against them since he's left, he's 0-4.
Wow.
At their house.
Dang.
That's
Did
crazy,
not know
man.
that. That's stupid.
Crazy.
That's really done. And you were saying with Dwayne Wade, he looked impressive. I thought he did great. He ended up doing. He did 12 points with 4 assists, 2 rebounds. That was his assists and rebounds pretty average with the rest of his team, and he had, I think it was 3rd or 4th best points, out of the team. He did a pretty. He
contributed really well. He did
really
more
well.
good than hardly anybody at that game. He had 2 solid blocks on LeBron.
Yeah, at least he wasn't like you'd like to put it warm in a bench.
For sure, man.
So he showed good spots there, and the Heat put up good numbers too. The Cavs chased about a 20-point or so deficit most of the game. The Heat had Kelly, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but Kelly Olynyk at 19, and then the number 2 and number 3 guys, James Johnson and Josh Richardson, they both shot 15. They had some really high scoring 2 double-digit, for most of their team.
Questions. Does LeBron make the finals this year?
I don't know, man. With
Yes.
how the Cavs looked at that against the Heat this past game, I say no.
Does Dwayne Wade Heat get to the Eastern Conference Finals?
If they play like they did last night, I think so.
They got a good bench, but they need Hassan Whiteside to come back.
Yeah.
But thanks again for watching this here in the kitchen, guys. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter.
That's at 1_th3_ kitchen. And be sure to follow us there. And if you like the video, just hit like and subscribe and keep up with all the news from Red Twin Entertainment and our other projects that are coming out soon.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
See you guys next time.